It's great to be here. I'm going to be talking about this idea of the rise of marketing orchestration. And I spent a lot of time talking with the leading CMOs of major brands, whether it's Southwest Airlines, whether it's Whole Foods, Williams-Sonoma, you name it. And the number one dilemma that's facing CMOs is the fact that when you're having these increasing number of touch points and channels, marketing today is becoming fundamentally unorchestrated. Think about it. Marketing and companies have people in San Francisco sending their customers emails. They have people in Chicago sending their customers mobile campaigns. They have people in New York sending their customers display campaigns. They're all focused on optimizing for their single channel, and they're not trying to understand the entire customer context and how they're actually trying to drive those customers to the right desired actions. And not only is marketing unorchestrated in the eyes of the consumer, marketing, and more importantly, the marketing organization, is totally unorchestrated. If you think about the evolution of marketing organizations, we had marketing organizations that were built to do TV. Then we had marketing organizations that were built to do print. Then we added the web, and then we added email, and then we built a mobile team, and then we built a social team, and then we have a blog team. So what we've done is now we're sitting with a marketing organization that's totally unorchestrated. And it's built around the wrong thing, which is built around campaigns, and really instead of being built around the customer. So what I'm going to be talking to you today about is what I believe is kind of this new post-campaign era marketing model. But before I talk about kind of where I think we need to go as a marketing organization and what I'm seeing working with the leading marketers across the world, I just want to take a quick look back and give you a sense of kind of how we got to where we are today. And then more importantly, I'm going to spend most of the time talking about where we need to go in the future and how we get there. So first off, I think it's important for us to just get down to the basics. What do marketers want? Deep down, what do marketers want? Marketers have always wanted scale. And when I talk about scale, I'm talking about reach, I'm talking about frequency, and I'm talking about transactions, okay? We have to make money, okay? Now, what do the customers want? Deep down, what do the customers want? They want a highly personalized experience. You saw that in a lot of the data that was shared this morning. But they also want tremendous choice and value. And you heard that with Michael. But until now, there's always been a divide. The customer had to give up a personalized experience for choice and value. And for the marketer, they actually had to give up a deep relationship to actually get scale. Before marketing really even existed, okay, business was highly personal. It's what I call the customer era. You went to a corner store or the local baker. The local baker actually knew your name. He might have only had a few selection for you to choose from, but he actually baked the bread himself. He knew what you liked. Not only did you get the bread, but you got this personal relationship. This is how we bought, and this is how we purchased with a lot of things during that time. And what happened was the marketer, they actually got this deep relationship with the consumer, okay? But they actually didn't get scale. And the consumer, what they get? They got this highly personalized experience, but they had limited choice and value. And so what happened was the consumer eventually yearned for more choice and value, and the marketer had greater ambitions for scale. And that drove us into what I call the campaign era. And the campaign era was all about the almighty anonymous mass campaign. TV, radio, print, outdoor, all driving us into this type of experience. Much larger stores, tens of thousands of SKUs. And unlike the situation where we had the personal store clerk helping us navigate that experience, now we were on our own, searching through the store for 10 minutes trying to find the product that we wanted to buy. And once we got there, ta-da! Thousands of opportunities and choices in regards to things like toothpaste, and I had to figure out which one I wanted to buy. But from the consumer's perspective, they got tremendous choice and value. but they actually had to give up the relationship because now they were totally anonymous in that store and they actually weren't getting a personalized experience. What did the marketer get? Well, the marketer gave up the idea of this deep relationship, but they got huge scale and they actually, for the first time, got a reason to exist. Because their job became, how do we actually get people to buy our product versus the competitor's product? Think Pepsi versus Coke. That's really what marketing started around, this idea of how do we get people to buy our products versus others. There was one message, there was one market, and success equaled scale and reach across the world. We wanted to reach every single household with our message and with our brand. And that was key. But something happened in kind of the midpoint of this campaign era, where a few smart marketers realized, hey, there's an opportunity here. We can now start targeting individuals, people, instead of targeting demographics, okay? And it started out with catalogs. So companies like LL Bean and Williams-Sonoma, Lands' End, very innovative companies, okay? They realized, hey, we're not going to just target demographics, we're going to target people that have specific interest in our types of products. Okay? And they built deep direct marketing expertise on how to target individuals and instead of targeting demographics. And then you actually started even seeing stores think differently. So we went from big stores to small stores like Lululemon, which focused on understanding consumers better than bigger stores could do. And then we actually went to stores in stores. And then something else happened though. In this period, the web emerged. Okay, with the possibility to change everything. The ability to truly drive addressable marketing like it's never been seen before. Most companies, though, they still clung to the past. They still sent out, and still to this day, are still sending out massive amounts of anonymous campaigns. Even if you look at the traditional breakout right now of marketing, people are still spending more money on anonymous marketing than known marketing or addressable marketing. But the smartest companies, what they're doing is they're turning everything digital and they're making everything addressable. Addressable email campaigns specifically designed for that individual. Addressable mobile campaigns, addressable display, and addressable websites. Websites that are totally personalized for each individual in this room, so when they show up at the website, it's absolutely unique to that customer. This is absolutely where we're headed. We're now entering this new post-campaign era model of marketing. It's what I call the relationship era. And how do I know that we're entering this new relationship era? Because we're already here. We're absolutely already here. And I'm going to take you through a whole bunch of examples. Now, the relationship era is going to be the first time ever where the customer is not willing to give up choice and value for a personalized experience. They now require both. And the reason being is that customers are now delivering both of them to them. They're giving them personalized experience and choice and value. It's basically going back to the past of personalized experiences like you saw with the shop store owner, but you now have to do it at massive scale. And the massive scale piece is the hardest part of this, and this is what I'm going to get into here in a minute. So providing a personalized experience in choice and value is really, really hard. We have to kind of go back to the start. We need to think about delivering these personalized experiences, but we actually have to now provide choice and value as well. It's possible, though. Think about this. Think about some of these companies that are actually achieving and providing the consumer choice and value, but actually providing a highly personalized experience. How about Amazon? Are they providing choice and value to the customer? Are they providing a highly personalized experience? Yeah. And for Amazon, are they actually having tremendous scale? Yep. Actually going to be bigger than Walmart. Do they have a deep relationship with the consumer? 13 million plus prime customers. They are creating a relationship era business. Think about Netflix. Do they provide choice and value? Do they provide a personalized experience? Are they achieving scale? And do they actually have a deep relationship? Well, if you're using their subscription business, they at least do. So these companies are really creating deep relationships and providing a personalized service. And they're thinking about marketing and they're thinking about their business the way customers do. It's a set of interrelated interactions that together make up the overall customer experience. The idea of focusing on trying to understand and optimize for a single touch point or a single campaign is done. It's over. The campaign era is gone. We need to be thinking about how do we orchestrate across all these channels in a very coordinated way. And that's the way we're going to be able to deliver these highly personalized experiences at huge scale. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. So that's what's next. We're going to deliver highly personalized experience. We're going to provide tremendous choice and value. We're going to do this at high scale. The only thing that's really been holding marketers back from this today is the marketing software that they had at their disposal and also their own organizational structures that they've been set up very siloed around campaigns instead of thinking about how to organize around the customer. So when I talked about these various airs, here's how I think about kind of the current software landscape. So if you look at this diagram, on the left you have this idea of the marketing strategy. So at the center of your marketing strategy at the top are customers at the center of your marketing strategy, or at the bottom are the campaigns at the center of your strategy. And at the bottom, it's all about scale. Do you have low scale or do you have high scale? Okay? So if you think about CRM, CRM was built for the customer era. CRM was built around this idea that humans are going to go into this application and software. They're going to look at the information stored in CRM. They're going to take that information and they're going to have another interaction with another human being. Incredibly valuable, still important and pertinent, but it has very low scale. There's only so many human-to-human interactions that you can have. So it has low scale. If you look at the next era, the campaign era, this idea of campaign management was created for the campaign era. And it was focused at it not having the customer at the center, the campaign was at the center. So it wasn't say, who's the customer? No, it's what are we trying to sell and what are we trying to push? Campaign management was focused on campaigns being at the center. And it provided tremendous scale because you could send out a large amount of campaigns. You started doing direct mail campaigns, you started doing catalog campaigns, and now we're doing digital campaigns. So we're sending, if we have a 10,000 or a 10 million file, we're going to send everybody an email or a mobile message or a display ad. So campaign management was created for the campaign era. I fundamentally believe that the relationship era is going to need something completely different than we've ever had before. Because we need to put the customers now at the center. But also, as marketers, we need to achieve scale. Okay? We're not going to be successful if we don't drive scale. And this is what I call marketing orchestration. And marketing orchestration is the next post-campaign era marketing model for delivering these personalized experiences at scale. And how do we stitch together these various touch points and campaigns together in an orchestrated experience that delivers value to the customer, but also drives the customer to our desired action? So let's see some orchestrated marketing in action and hopefully bring this to life for you. So the first is Dollar Thrifty. So some of you obviously are probably familiar with this company. Some of you might have rented one of their cars. But I want to take you through an example at a high level to talk to you exactly how they're doing this at scale. So when you make a rental car reservation, they take your credit card. But unlike a hotel, if you don't show up, they don't charge you. Okay? So they have a huge drop-off rate. It's usually around 40% for every rental car company. So you make a reservation and you don't show up. So what Dollar Thrifty did, they were really smart. They said, hey, if you're going to pick up the car in 7 days, Scott Olrich, we're going to send you a series of emails, okay? The day you make the reservation, we're going to say thank you for making the reservation. And then a couple days out from you actually picking up the car, we're going to send you another email. And maybe the day of, we're going to send you an email. And that's how the program started, and it was very successful. And they said, God, yeah, that was interesting. That's a multi-stage interaction with the customer, but it's only in a single channel. That doesn't make so much sense. We can do better than that. So what they did is they said for those customers that actually only pick up the car 50% of the time when they make a reservation, we're going to actually show that customer display ads in coordination with the email program. So we're actually going to say, hey, Scott Olrich picks up the car only 50% of the time. We're going to bid to show display ads to that customer during that period of window before they're going to pick up the car. And if they actually go to the website during that period, it's going to say, Scott Olrich, for $2 extra, you can actually get navigation on your car, and it'll be ready when you pick it up on Friday. And also, the day that the customer is actually going to the airport, okay, they know the day they're supposed to pick up the car, they're going to send them an SMS message saying that the car is ready for them in this particular spot in the lot. And if that customer has actually joined their mobile application, they're going to push a message to their mobile application. This is the type of orchestrations that companies like Dollar Thrifty are putting in place to deliver this highly personalized experience. So every single campaign in this flow is totally individualized to me. The logic and flow of what channels that I'm actually being delivered to are determined based on my preferences. And this is a scalable program. This is marketing. And what it's doing is it's not only have reduced their drop-off rates by 50%, so it's driving a highly successful marketing program. But the bigger thing that this is doing is it's changing the organizational structure within Dollar Thrifty. This is not about display. This is not about mobile. This is not about email. This is not about the website, okay? This is about the customer. And they had to bring together all of these siloed channels to say, hey, this is a critical journey in the life cycle. It's very important, and we're losing tons of money because people aren't going to show up. Let's orchestrate that together in this thoughtful program. We're talking about millions and millions and millions of dollars that this program is delivering every single minute, every single second of the day this program is running. There's no humans doing it, but they're delivering this highly personalized experience at huge scale. Let me show you another one. This one's great. Insurance industry, a lot of people don't think insurance is that progressive, but MetLife is extremely progressive. And I spent a lot of time with Manish, the CMO, and he's driving incredible transformation. And his transformation is based on this idea. Insurance is a very complicated process. I'm going to talk about life insurance. There's lots of steps to go through to apply and get accepted for life insurance. That's why they built a huge network of agents, okay? Thousands and thousands of agents to take consumers through these high-touch, complicated processes. But he said, God, we need to move to a more direct model. So we wanted to leverage technology to actually mimic what the agents did to drive these consumers through this process, okay? And so what he did, and he knew that CRM software he had wasn't going to do it. He knew that campaign management software wasn't going to do it. He can't have people sending out campaigns, every minute to different people where they're in the life cycle. He knew he needed something different. So he's using marketing orchestration to do exactly this. So here's just an example. I just took a snapshot to hopefully bring it to life. But here's someone that filled out an application for life insurance. They send them this email saying, hey, thank you for applying. It also says, hey, in this email, it says, we want you to opt in for SMS messages, because they know that obviously most people today, they're not sitting on their computers every day. They're in the train going to work. They're in the mall shopping. So they wanted to be able to deliver this process and get them to complete it, not just on their physical computer, but they wanted to actually do it on their phone. And then here is an example where you actually see that they're not only sending an email to the person, but they're also sending an SMS message saying, hey, we're missing an item. We need you to provide this item to actually finish your application. So it's asking for the application, this missing item, both in email and SMS. And then we get to the point where we say, hey, you've been approved. So we send an email message. We also send an SMS message letting them know that they're approved. Not only can they see the message on both email and mobile device, but also they can actually accept the policy right there on their phone. And so what they're thinking about, they have right now, I think it's 181 automated programs that they're working across the life cycle. And they look very similar to this, and they're using display, they're using mobile, they're connecting into their call center, and they know if someone's going through this program, they can click a particular phone number, and then the call center knows which program they're going. They're really thinking about the customer life cycle. But the thing that is so fascinating to me is the fact that they're measuring this, and they're measuring the Net Promoter Score. They're looking at their agent model, they're going through the same processes, and they're comparing that against people that are using this direct model and leveraging technology to do this orchestration of the life cycle. So the direct model, okay, has a positive 38 Net Promoter Score. The highest is a positive 100. The agent has a negative 4. You can have all the way to a negative 100 Net Promoter Score. So the customers are telling you they prefer this direct model. They actually prefer to interact with MetLife in a direct model when they want on demand. But they want a highly personalized experience, and they want to make it convenient. And MetLife is delivering that in this particular case and across multiple products in a direct model, and it's making them highly more efficient, but also more effective, and in the customized, more effective. So the last one I want to show you is Domino's Pizza. And it was interesting this morning, Chick-fil-A, I thought it was an incredible story. And Domino's is an incredible, went through an incredible transformation. I don't know if everybody saw the YouTube video that went viral, the guy that sneezed on the pizza. They were behind the hardball, but they've done some incredible marketing since. And one of the things that I loved about the transformation that they've done is they went out to consumers. They really started saying, hey, yeah, we hear that our pizza tastes like cardboard. And they took a lot of consumer reviews and finally came up with new products. But they started to really think holistically about kind of journeys and experiences versus various campaigns. And so here you can see that they do special promotions that they'll do in traditional media. And people can call in to order order a pizza, or they can actually go online. They can make an order. They can track the order and how fast it's going to get there. And that part's interesting. A lot of companies are doing that. But what was really fascinating to me and what really stood out, and I think a lot of us can learn from, is when the consumer in most cases got the pizza, in this case they got the pizza box, that was the end of experience for most companies out there, right? Think about the deliveries you have at your house. You get something, the experience ends. It's a dead end, okay? It's a poor customer experience. What these guys did, they were really, really smart. They said, we're going to turn a pizza box into a whole new experience. And what they did is they allow people to actually write reviews to the person that actually made the pizza. So they can say, okay, hey, John, that was a terrific pizza. They can even take a picture of the pizza and post it to this wall on Facebook. And they're taking those reviews, and not only are the reviews being posted onto a video screen within the kitchen of each Domino's store, they're also taking those reviews and they're actually broadcasting them onto digital billboards in New York City and in major cities. So you can't see it there, but it says, hey, Jess, I loved your pizza. Great job. They are turning their whole culture around this idea of this digital experience and turning these customers that are writing these reviews into huge advocates. So if you write a review, they're going to send a message to you to download their mobile app. They're also going to be sending you various promotional campaigns and various coupons to get you to keep coming back. But they're thinking about not just the first part of the experience, but they're taking things like a pizza box and taking what has traditionally been a dead end and turning it into this overall experience, which has been very powerful. And it kind of shows you how we need to start thinking about marketing. It's from journeys, from one journey to the next. It's not, you don't make a rental car reservation, for example, and then once you make the rental car reservation, you're not done. There's this pre-process and then post-process. And really that's what we're thinking about from journey to journey. So for everybody in the room, the call to action, it's time to get orchestrated. You need to orchestrate your marketing, and you need to start going back to your organizations and actually getting your organization to become more orchestrated. And so a lot of people have been talking about a customer company or loyalty and all of these things. I think the biggest challenge over the next decade for marketing is to how are we going to become orchestrated marketers? How are we going to deliver highly personalized experiences and tremendous choice and value at huge scale? That is going to be our challenge. And I encourage all of you to really take on that challenge within your organizations. Now, it's interesting being here today at this event. It's something I very much believe in what Possible Now is doing. And the reason why I believe in what they're doing is because it fits naturally into the orchestration story. If I want to be able to link and integrate various interactions across multiple channels, I need to understand what channels the consumers prefer, which channels we actually can message them through. We need to understand that component. So not only does marketing orchestration need to be centralized, marketing orchestration sits around the customer and controls the context of customers and what messages they're going to receive across the right channels. But the other thing that I feel fundamentally needs to be centralized in a marketing organization is preferences. And so I couldn't be more delighted to be part of this conference and be part of a deep partnership with Possible Now, because these ideas of marketing orchestration and centralized preference management is absolutely critical. So good luck on this journey. There's a blog that I help write called the New School Marketing Blog, so feel free to go check it out. I'll be here over the next couple days, happy to answer any questions. I think we have a couple minutes for questions if anybody has them before we go into the next session.
Thanks, Scott. Yeah, so we've got a couple of microphones floating through the room. So if anybody has a question for Scott. So, can somebody?
Don't be shy.
So what was interesting to me was this kind of talk about post-campaign era and the concept of return to village. If you haven't read, there's a book out called The Fourth Turning. And if you read that book, it talks a little bit about what's happening in this time period we're in now. It was written back in the mid-90s, and it talks about how the break in the cycle of mass production, mass media, and how we'll go to kind of like people who know us and what they build, and they'll be able to kind of predict what we want. The other thing that was interesting to me was personalized experience at a massive scale. Yeah. So being able to give people what they want, the message that they want to hear at the right place. So yes, I have a question here.
Yeah, I have a question.
You have a nice loud voice too, so.
Or the microphone. My industry is focused on automotive, and I deal specifically with dealerships as well as OEMs.
Yep.
But one of the barriers we're trying to really overcome, we've been working on for a few years now, is the mentality of a dealership, unfortunately, is focused pretty much on Bozo the Clown, balloons, and newspaper advertising is pretty much the methodology to draw attention to a dealership.
Yeah.
So this whole campaign era is sort of like, it's a really egoic campaign era for them, but it's like where they're at.
Yeah.
And trying to overcome that with a dealership that has 10, 20, 30, 40 years of hardened advertising methodologies is a challenge. What would you say would be, in a simple answer, a good approach to trying to reorient that old school method? Because we may be moving into this era now, which is what our technology is entirely focused around the customer object, the cloud, our customers, our data, very centric and stuff, but trying to even have and engage that dialogue with the dealership is like, you got to get out of the Flintstones, you got to get into the, automatic transmission, so.
Yeah, so I think it's a...
To summarize it real fast for the video, because it doesn't get picked up, is he's asking about dealerships. So dealerships are not necessarily oriented for this. So how do you get an industry or a company that may not think this way to start thinking that way?
Yeah, so we actually do a lot of work with automotive, and we also do, but one of the great examples is John Deere. So dealers want to make money, okay? They want leads. And so if you can think about how you build a journey and orchestrated communication with customers that actually drive people into the dealers, and the dealers actually know that actually communication and journey is driving them into that particular dealer, they get extremely excited about it. So John Deere, for example, they have what's called a first to know program that we put together. And what it does is it allows customers to be the first to know about particular products, in this case tractors, big machine equipment, exciting stuff. It actually allows them to understand that product the tractor, whatever is coming out, and it gives them ability to actually go into the dealership before any other customers. And so what it's done is it's driving tremendous amount of leads into the dealers, and it's driving sales for those particular dealerships. And so the dealers are ecstatic about it. And it's actually one of the reasons why they sell John Deere instead of going and selling a different tractor. So I think you need to understand how these programs can actually drive the thing that the dealers care about, which is more leads, more people coming in to buy the tractors. So I'm happy to talk to you more about what we're doing there, but I think automotive is a huge area of opportunity for what I'm talking about.
Great, thank you.
I'm curious on Domino's.
Go take the mic.
What if the review is bad?
Yeah. Yeah. So I normally there's a great video on YouTube. You guys should go watch it. I'm happy to give you the link to it afterwards. But in the relationship era, it's about being transparent. Okay. So people want people to be authentic. Okay. So I don't know if there's typically the world works in eras of 30 years, okay? So you have what's called the idealistic era and the civic era, okay? And the idealistic era is that we're perfect and your kids are going to be the president of the United States, okay? And the civic era is no, it's about doing good. It's about being part of a bigger thing, okay? And right now we're in the civic era, okay? So people want the authentic people. They're not perfect. They're not James Bond. And so they really smart. They played into this idea, which is they got people rooting for them. Their video is basically, you can go and see their Twitter feed. It says, yeah, our pizza tastes like cardboard. They're putting it out there. So they ultimately got customers rooting for them again. And I think you can do that as a company, is actually just be transparent, be real, be yourself. And I think that if you look at the companies that are doing that today, they're the companies that are successful because people want to root for companies that they believe in and think that they're authentic. Any other questions? Yeah, this stuff is hard. I think people always ask me, how do I get to this idea of what Dollar Thrifty did or what MetLife does? And you can start small. You have to understand the journey. What are the critical journeys in your particular business? And then start in one channel. If you own one channel, build the program, and then start inviting people from other channels, and then champion that journey, that cross-channel journey within your organization. And it's amazing how you'll see the organization start to come together around the customer. And I think this is the thing that we need to do as marketers. We need to think about the experience. We need to think about the business. And the thing you saw with Chipotle, which I think they're doing in a right way, marketing is not about just marketing the product. It is the product itself. So the old world of thinking meant here's a product, we go sell it as marketers. Chipotle is, no, we're going to invest more in the ingredients, and we're going to tell people the calories in there, and we're going to provide a better product, and we're going to spend less money on traditional marketing, but we're going to market the great experience that consumers have. So it's about creating a great experience and marketing a great experience. Taking a product and just great marketing on a product that's not so great, that's not going to work anymore. You need both. And I think that's what companies like Amazon and Netflix are figuring out. So, great.